Visit CCGCastle.com and get 5% discount on your purchase with TCG Center 5 code. Check video description or visit CCG Castle for more. How's it going, guys? Welcome to Pokemon TCG Center. In today's video, we'll be looking at Rainbow Force, Xerneas, but this is a turbo version of this deck. So this deck will actually contain some Shaymins and also some Max Elixirs, so that's the reason why I actually call this version a turbo version. If you watched my previously upload for the Xerneas Rainbow Force deck, you should probably notice that I didn't play it with the Shaymin and with the Max Elixirs, but in this turbo version I actually decided to build it with those cards. For example, Rainbow Force Xerneas is 120 HP Pokemon, which means that it have a weakness, of course, on the metals and resistance on darkness, which is very good because I can definitely see a lot of potential in Dark Rage Giratina in the future, Primal Clash on, or in the current format. So basically, resistance is always good to have. With Fighting Fury Belt, you can have 160 HP, and basically with four different types on your bench, you can hit for like a 120, which will be enough to knock out those low HP Pokemons like Shaymin-EX, like Mew-EX, but with 5 different types you can hit for 150, 160 with that Rainbow Force because it's 30 plus 10 more, and with the Fighting Fury Belt 170, which also gonna be enough to knock out those lower HP Pokemons like Giratina EX. But of course, to support, I have tons of different cards. I decided to roll with 2 copies of Bisharps, as in my previous video, 2 copies of Pawniard and Bisharp with Retaliation. It's a very good card because it can easily respond for 90 for a single energy after one of your Pokemon gets knocked out. Of course, 2 Galvantulas, also dual type with the double threat. They can snipe for 30 2 of your opponent's benched Pokemons. In my opinion, this is very good card. And of course, I'm running this time 1 copy of Volcanion, which can also provide me 2 types. In addition to that, I'm running also 1 copy of Mew and 2 copies of Shaymin-EX. In my opinion, running also Volcanion can help you pretty quickly, even turn 1. Hit, for example, if you have Xerneas in the active position, if you have Volcanion on your bench, that's 2 types, Mew 3 types, Joltik 4 types, Xerneas another 5 types, and for example, Shaymin 6 different types, which is gonna be like 200 damage with the Fighting Fury Belt. From item cards, as you can see, I'm running 1 copy of Escape Rope. It's always a good card because it can force your opponent to promote another Pokemon from the active position, and it can also help you to retreat with your Pokemon in the active position on something on your bench, which is always good. For example, let's say your opponent have that Jolteon and he uses that Flash Ray, you're not going to be able to attack with your Xerneas. But if you use Escape Rope Lysandre, you're going to be able to knock him out. Also, I'm running 1 copy of Level Ball, which can, in my opinion, easily be replaced with something like Pokemon Ranger or Hexmaniac, depend on your current meta. If in your local tournaments, a lot of people actually play Greninjas, then I will expect to take 1 Hexmaniac. But if lots of people play Giratinas, I would probably go with 1 Ranger, because Ranger can help you a lot. But again, it's really not that easy for the Giratina to hit turn 1 with those 4 energies, because if they miss 1 Max Elixir, they're not going to be able turn 1 to attack, which will leave you space to power up your Rainbow Force Xerneas and maybe even Lysandre no Giratina on the bench. But also with the XP share, you have plenty of options basically to put those basic energies on your Xerneas and be able to use Rainbow Force and knock out Giratina. 4 copies of Max Elixirs for maximum speed up of this deck. 1 special charge in case you discarded too many double colors energies, so you can put them back into your deck. But again, special charge can also be replaced for any other tech cards like Enhanced Hammer. For example, you can also run, in my opinion, instead of the special charge and Level Ball, 2 copies of Enhanced Hammer, which can also help you a lot against those decks who are running special energies. 1 copy of Super Rod, 3 copies of Trainers Mail. Unfortunately, didn't find the space for the 4th one. 4 copies of Ultra Ball, which means that with the Ultra Ball you can discard any 2 cards from your hand in order to search your deck for any Pokemon. 4 VA Seekers, of course, 1 copy of Lysandre. From draft supporters, I'm only running 2 copies of N and 4 copies of Sycamore, but that's the reason because I'm running actually Shaymin in this deck, and I think that very low amount of supporters might be a tricky. You might get another N, but in my opinion, since I decided to roll with the teammates, it can also help you instead of adding that third N. Also for Stadium card, I decided to go with the Fairy Garden just because I don't have space for the Flowstone, so Fairy Garden might give me option to retreat for free with any of my Pokemon who actually have Fairy Energy attached on it. 2 copies of XP Share, so basically when I have XP Share on one of my benched Pokemons, after I get knocked out with my Pokemon in the active position, I can just easily transfer 1 energy from that active Pokemon, of course basic energy, to that benched Pokemon. Which means that, for example, I have Xerneas on my bench with XP Share, and I have Xerneas in the active position who is attacking. And after my Xerneas in the active position get knocked out, I can easily transfer my Fairy Energy, add double cores, and get knocked out against my opponent Pokemon without any problem. 2 Fighting Fury Belts to increase the damage output, and HP, of course, 11 energies, 4 double cores, and 7 Fairy. If you're looking for any of these cards as usual, you can find them on CCGCastle.com. You can find the link in my video description. With TCG75 code, you can also get 5% discount on your purchase. So that's pretty much it for the deck list. Let's do some game tests so you can actually see how this deck will work. Alright guys, let's do this. So, waiting for the game to start. As you can see, I started with my Mew in the active position. So this is a near perfect start, I should say that. Because Mew can also copy my Xerneas Rainbow Road attack, and also I have Ultra Ball and Fairy Garden, which is pretty good because I can have very nice Ultra Ball turn 1 for the Shaymin, and I can try to set up pretty quickly. Okay, so another top deck Ultra Ball. Let's go with a Ultra Ball for V Seeker and 1 energy. Of course, in order to grab that Shaymin for the setup, there is only 1 Shaymin sitting in my deck, so I'm still thinking maybe about grabbing Xerneas, attaching double Color's energy, and going with Ultra Ball for Shaymin for 6. I think this is a much better option, in my opinion. So let's go with the Ultra Ball for 6 instead of the Ultra Ball for 3. Just because I have a Super Rod and I can easily bring back my energies into my deck. So I don't need to worry too much about them. Let's see, Shaymin for 6. And there is another Xerneas, a Max Elixir, a Trainers Mail, and Fairy Garden. So I might be able to get that energy with the Max Elixir, and as you can see I managed to find 1. And I even have another Xerneas to put it onto bench. And a Trainers Mail, which can give me a very nice Professor Sycamore. So this is going to be a Fairy Garden. And a Sycamore plate for 7. So far so good. So I need to find my Joltik and Bisharp. And there is even 1 more XP Share, which is near perfect, I should say that. So I'm going to use my Trainers Mail. And of course I'm going to grab that Professor Sycamore for the next turn. And so far I think I will just stay in the active position with my Mew. Probably I'm going to get paralyzed by that bubble, but who knows? It's very hard to say. It's Greninja on the other side, and it can definitely be a very interesting matchup. Especially because Greninja can snipe my bench pretty easily, but also with Galvantula I can pretty easily finish this matchup. As you can see, I can hit for 60 on his Froakie on the bench. But unfortunately, if I do that, this is not going to be enough to knock out his active Froakie. So I'm going to put 1 more energy on my Xerneas. I'm going to retreat onto my another Xerneas, and we'll Sycamore for 7. So far I have 5 types in the game. And there is 1 more XP Share, which is very nice, but I guess I can put that onto my, I guess even Galvantula maybe. A few more Max Elixirs to be played. Okay, I managed to hit 1 more energy, which is definitely good. And I think this is gonna be a Rainbow Force for 160. I'm gonna be short for 10 damage in order to 1-hit knockout Greninja Break, but I can definitely get a Fighting Fury Belt, which will give me the option to hit for 170. So there's a Frogadier, which means that he can use Water Duplicate, bring back in play a few more Frogadiers, which means that this game will not over yet. I mean, it looks like it's not gonna over yet, but As you can see, I have double colors energy sitting in my hand, and I'm thinking about attaching it on my Xerneas. So this is going to be another Rainbow Force for 160. So far so good. I managed to grab 2 prizes. Still 4 to go. There is a N sitting in my hand. The biggest concern is that Mew. So I think I'm just probably going to try to find maybe something like double colors energy right here. Very nice thing is that I have also Escape Rope in my hand, which means that I can put my Mew in the active position. And I'm going to, should I end right here or not? I guess I don't need to end. I can just retreat down to my Xerneas and use my Rainbow Force once again for 160. So I was lucky definitely with the setup. And Greninja can definitely be good, but if you miss that supporter card for drop, you can just find yourself in a lot of trouble. So there's Professor Sycamore, which means that he really needs that Super Rod for Froakies on the bench, and basically maybe even Greninja to start to apply some pressure. Okay, so he decided to, okay, yeah, pretty rational. He bring back those 3 Frogadiers, and this is going to be another water duplicate. So I still need to take like 3 more prize cards, and there we go with 3 more Frogadiers on the bench. I guess I'm going to, okay, unfortunately I don't have Hexmaniac in this build, so where should I put my double colors energy? Of course, on my Xerneas. I just want to get rid of so many cards. Pretty much a lot of these cards are just going to be useless. Should I go with N or not? I mean, I will just continue to go with my Rainbow Force for 160. 2 more prize to take, so if Greninja Break can hit the play, he can definitely get benefit from it, because with John Water Shuriken he can snipe my Mew, grab 1 prize. 2 more John Water Shurikens, 2 more prizes against my Shaymin, and this is definitely going to be very, very powerful. So there's another dive ball, which means that he can even grab 1 more Froakie on the bench. But I think that he is in very, very bad position. Again, there is just 80 damage, and this might mean that he might not be even able to take a single prize right here. So I guess I can end here, but I really don't want to do that. I can just go with my N. Let's just go with N. No, let's better not go with the N. Why should I go with N? Let's just continue with Rainbow Force for 160. Unfortunately, I'm going to lose a 1 prize right here after he attacked me with his Greninja. Maybe 2 if he can find Greninja Break. Maybe even 3, who knows if he can find another Greninja Break in Wally. But probably that's not going to happen. So there's Greninja Break. It means that with the John Water Shuriken he can get rid of my Xerneas from the active position, but then again he still needs to knock out so many Pokemon, so he just decided to go with that attack right here. Managed to get 1 prize, which means that I'm going to promote my Galvantula maybe in active position, or Mew. Let's go with the Mew. Let's go with the Super Rod to bring back some energies back into the deck. And of course, I'm going to put my Volcanion on the bench, which means that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 types in play. So I can just promote my Xerneas and hit with my Rainbow Road for 210, which will be enough to knock out his, 220 actually, to knock out his Greninja Break. So let's move to the game number 2. Alright guys, so welcome to the game number 2 for this Turbo Xerneas Road deck. As you can see, in the game number 1, I managed to win against Greninja, so this is going to be game number 2. Let's take a look at the opening, and with Giratina on the other side, this can be very tricky because of their Chaos Wheel. Then again, I have Shaymin sitting in the active spot, which is definitely a devastating opening. Really, to tell you that. Okay, so there is N. Hopefully I'm going to be able to finally support a card, maybe even Stadium for the retreat. Oh, even better, Escape Rope. I really like that. I really like that, to be honest. So there's a Fighting Fury Belt attached to the Darkrai, and this is pretty much it. Okay, so this is very bad start, to be honest. I'm going to put my Mew on the bench. Where should I put my XP share? Let's first see what I can find in my Trainers Mail. Okay, so luckily there is Professor Sycamore, which means that I can go for 7. I should put my XP share down to my Mew, I guess. Yeah, definitely. And I'm going to play my Escape Rope onto my Mew. And I will take a risk by playing Sycamore. I'm looking forward to double Color's Energy and Max Elixir, so I can hit turn 1 right here. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. There is just Max Elixir, and at least there is a energy card, which means that I can put it onto my Xerneas. I guess I can put another Xerneas on the bench, play my XP share, and pretty much use my... Oh, I don't have Dimension Wally anymore in this format, so I cannot use my Encounter. If I decided to attach energy, probably, for example, on the Mew, I would be able to use my Encounter and maybe search my deck for something like a Volcanion. So far, I have 4 different types in play, which is 130 damage. So with Bisharp, this is going to be 160. Fighting Fury Belt 170. So with Volcanion, I'm going to be able to hit so hard that this is going to be so devastating for my opponent. But this might also be a knockout against my Mew. So I really need to get my Volcanion with the Ultra Ball in play. So there's a Dark Pulse, which means that this is going to be 70. Of course, I didn't have energy, so nobody is going to take energy cards. Xerneas is going to be promoted in the active position. It's time to put down that Joltik. It's time to play DC, of course. Put the Bisharp in play, which means that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different types. Of course, I will use my Ultra Ball to get that. Which Pokemon should I get? Okay, there is no sign of the Volcanion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different Pokemon types, which means that this is 150, 160. I'm not even close to take the knockout against the Darkrai. Let me see. I think I can pick another Xerneas, or maybe another Pawniard, because... let's go with the Shaymin for... No. Let's just grab another Xerneas. Shaymin can be actually better for later, for some draw support, if N happens or something like that. There we go. There's a big crucial Fighting Fury Belt, and this is gonna be Rainbow Force for 160. 170, unfortunately, not enough for the knockout, was short for that Volcanion-EX, but at least I have that Galvantula sitting in my hand for the next turn. There's also Seeker, which means that in case I get knocked out, I can use my teammates, but probably that's not going to happen. So far, he can hit only for 70. Okay, so with attaching Double Dragon Energy on Giratina, he can easily Lysandre Shaymin for 2. And go down to 3 prizes, but then I can use my M and basically end him down to 3 cards, which is going to be a very devastating blow. Okay, so he just decided to attach 1 energy to Darkrai, which means that probably Lysandre is not going to happen, but it might happen, who knows, to buy a turn. Okay, so he can at least snipe Joltik like a boss, take a prize. And of course reduce the possibility of my input damage. So again, I need to find a way to bring back my Joltik in play, of course. So there we go with... Okay, finally there's another Joltik. And also Super Rod sitting in my hand. And 2 Seekers. So let's go with the Super Rod. Let's see what we can find in the discard pile. I'm thinking about putting back energy, maybe Mew, and maybe 1 more energy. Yeah, I have 3 Xerneas, so I don't need so many energies. Let's just do something like this. Of course, this is going to be a Rainbow Force for the knockout. I'm not looking forward to play my Trainers Mail Not even for maybe finding that Max Elixir, because I'm just scared about maybe being N down to 4, so always having Trainers Mail will do the good job if you get N, and if you take less cards than you actually have in this situation. So there's a Fighting Fury Belt on the Darkrai. Shaymin will be for 2. All I really need right here is somehow to find a Lysandre. So if I'm gonna be able to find Lysandre, I can just easily Lysandre his Shaymin on the bench, take 2 more prizes, and pretty much win the game. So there's Oblivion Wing only for 10 damage, but 1 energy is probably going to be attached to the Darkrai. The good thing about Xerneas is that he has resistance -20, so there is Galvantula, and this is going to be a Trainer's Mail. So let's see what we can find with a Trainer's Mail. So I can find a Fighting Fury Belt and a Special Charge. And I'm thinking about taking that Fighting Fury Belt, attaching it onto my Xerneas on the bench. And what I can do is attach one of my energies on the Bisharp. And I guess I can go with my Seeker for Professor Sycamore. So I'm looking forward for the fresh hand of the 7 new cards. I just didn't decide to put my Fairy Garden in play. Maybe he played a Delinquent, so this might cost me a play. And I think this is pretty much gonna be it. So I'm going to use my Rainbow Force right here for 200 damage. So this is pretty much enough to knock out his Yveltal. I'm going to take 1 more prize, which is a Volcanion. So in case of the knockout, I do have Max Elixir, which means that I can try to power up 1 energy onto my Xerneas on the bench, in case chaos will happen. But again, I also have that Volcanion, which can help me to increase more damage counters. So there is a Giratina on the other side, who's actually weak on the Fairy. And there's 1 more Ultra Ball, which might be for another Shaymin-EX or just for another Darkrai. So there's another Darkrai in play. And Professor Sycamore for 7 new cards. Alright, so what he can get right here, we shall see. So there is Double Dragon Energy, and there is Max Elixir, which means that he can try to power up 1 more Darkrai with energy, but unfortunately that's not going to happen. So there's a Pearl City, which means that I need to discard a few Pokemon from my bench. So this is going to be Shaymin. Alright, just give me a quick look on my discard pile, and I think I'm going with my Xerneas with that XP share. So I have only 5 Pokemons on my bench, which means that I can hit for 170, which will be enough to knock out, for example, his Giratina. Okay, so I definitely need to hit my Max Elixirs right here. Alright, so unfortunately there is 1 energy from my opponent. This is not good, so there's another Max Elixir. Unfortunately, no energy. I'm looking forward to find maybe a Lysandre. Lysandre, it's not gonna help, because I don't have Lysandre. So how many damage I can do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 150, 170. I guess I can retreat by discarding my DC, but this is not gonna be good. I'm thinking about going with my N, maybe getting a Stadium card in place so I can try to increase the damage that I can do. Nope, there's just another Max Elixir, but at least that can help. And there is 1 more energy, which means that I can attach it onto my Xerneas. I can even retreat down to my Galvantula, try to snipe his Shaymins on the bench, but definitely not looking forward to do that. We'll just hit with my Rainbow Force for 150. After I get knocked out next turn, 170 actually, I can just promote my Bisharp, use Retaliate, drop 2 more prizes, and keep my Xerneas with 3 energies. But again, I can just sit and wait, maybe to find Volcanion, so I can knock out and take the last prize against his Giratina. So this is going to be another 120 damage, I guess, with his Darkrai. Maybe he actually even decides to retreat. Who knows if he can maybe find something like a Max Elixir or he's another Darkrai. Probably that's not going to happen. So there is a Floatstone. I might see another Sycamore right here, might not. But so far, definitely good. I mean, I have 2 options. I can hit with the 90 with my Bisharp. but not sure if this is going to be good. So there is a V Seeker for Sycamore, which means that he have 2 more V Seekers left, and there's a Dark Pulse for 110. Alright, so what to do? Really don't know. I guess I need Fairy Garden so badly, so I'm going to put my just trying to count how many damage he can do with attaching. Okay, I have Fighting Fury Belt, so he's not going to be able to knock me out with his Darkrai on the bench. Let's go with should I go with my energy attachment on my Galvantula? We'll try to go with my Shaymin-EX right here for 5. Maybe I can find Stadium. There is no Stadium in play. So this is going to be another Rainbow Force for 170. And if he promotes his Darkrai in the active position, he's not going to be able to hit for enough damage counters. Again, I have V Seeker sitting in my hand, which means that I can grab only Sycamore or even Teammates if he can somehow knock out my Xerneas. So there's Max Elixir. If he can hit energy right here on the Darkrai, he might be able to input 100 damage, but with resistance, okay, 140, but with resistance 120. But probably he's just gonna hit with that Darkrai, because Darkrai is the only one who can actually basically do enough damage and survive by not being knocked out from my Rainbow Road, because Giratina is definitely not going to be able to survive. So there is M down to 1 and another Max Elixir. Can he find maybe 1 more energy? Yes, he can. So right now he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is going to be Dark Pulse for 140. And let's see what is the top deck for me. I really need that top deck, which is Ultra Ball. Okay, so I can see what he's going to do. Okay, so this is very tricky right now. If I retreat, I'm going to discard 2 of my energies, and he is gonna be able... Well, let's just go with the Rainbow Force, since I have 2 attackers sitting on my bench. I guess I can just hit with my Galvantula. That's 30 damage to his Darkrai on the bench. So only Fighting Fury Belt can actually save him from being knocked out in this case. So there's a big Ultra Ball. If he can find another Shaymin-EX, he can drop completely 6 cards. But if he cannot find Shaymin, this is probably just going to be GG, because I can hit with my Double Dread 2 times 30 on his Darkrai on the bench. So unfortunately, this is going to be a GG. So there is, as you can see, Chaos Wheel for 100. But Galvantula will finish the game and pretty much bring me a victory. So I even managed to find Volcanion right now, but I really don't need it. So 30 on the Darkrai and 30 on the Shaymin, and that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys enjoy watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more future videos. I will show you the deck list right now, and we'll talk a little bit about it. Once again, guys, there's a full deck list. If you notice, the deck works pretty good. It's pretty fast. It has a lot of options. XP share can help you a lot. Also, that Rainbow Force can hit for so many damage that you can just easily knock out any of your opponent EX Pokemons, even with those Fighting Fury Belts. So I hope you guys enjoy watching this video. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more future videos. If you have any questions, don't forget to leave comments below. Till the next time, have a nice day and goodbye.